Hi, it's Lisa Mallis, your time strategy visionary. Boundaries. Probably one of the toughest skills in time management to master. Setting them and then holding firm to your boundaries. Why in the world would you ever want to set boundaries? Because in all reality, the truth is, every little no protects your big yes. In knowing what areas you want to say yes to and what areas you want to say no to ahead of time and determining what those boundaries look like help you so that you're not caught off guard. So let's talk a little bit about boundaries and what's most likely to happen as soon as you set them. So here's an example of one of my clients. She had set work hours and was determined to work during work hours. She works from home, and she didn't want to let other things infringe on her business time. And so for a week, everything went great. Then a friend called and said, I want to stop by, drop off some stuff from a meeting that they were involved in, and blah, blah, blah. So it seemed like it fell within her business hours. The friend stopped by for 15 minutes, which turned into 3 hours. So there's my client. She had set work hours, she was working her work hours, and then all of a sudden, her boundary was pushed and she was caught off guard. She wasn't sure what to do. Because it just evolved. You know how that happens. 5 minutes turns into 15, which turns into an hour, and the next thing you know, the whole afternoon has been shot. And so what she realized was as soon as she sets her boundaries, something's going to come and push up against them. And she needs to then have a plan for how to overcome that, which she now does. She's very, very, very mindful of her work hours. And if someone's coming by, she sets right up front, she sets that expectation. Feel free, come on over, drop that stuff off. I have an appointment in 15 more minutes. That way she's setting the agreement ahead of time. So the purpose of today's post is just to remind you that when you have an opportunity to set a boundary, and you do set a boundary, be ready for some pushback on that boundary, whether it's intentional or not, off the other end. And that's okay. Because when you're using awe, awareness, work, and evaluation, you can work through that process in your head so that every time this happens, you become more and more efficient around it. Awareness, realizing you need a boundary. Work, setting a boundary. Evaluation, looking at where the boundary didn't quite work the way you were hoping it would, and coming back around and tweaking it a little bit more. So in the case of my client, she knows that work time that she dedicates to work on her business is for that. And if anything else is going to come into that space during that time, she sets up a verbal agreement ahead of time saying, this is how much time I have. And then she sets a timer to remind herself, this is it. That way she doesn't lose 3 hours. With a little coaching, every day can be productive, rewarding, and fun. So I encourage you, reach out. Leave a comment below if you have a question. Shoot me an email. I'm always happy to help you create the boundaries that best support your goals and growth. Lisa Mallis, your time strategy visionary.